Hello guys, welcome back to another reaction video here on our Eyes Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch episode 9 of Baraou no Souretsu, or Requiem of the Rose King. But before starting this video, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, leave a like to support me, and join me in this adventure. Okay, in the previous episode we saw that now things are going to collapse once again. Let's see what's going to happen today. Are you ready to join me with this? Check it out. Exactly. This is normal. Even worse. Oh yeah, I like Gatsby, yes. Oh yeah, he noticed the signal that Henry left to Richard. Yeah. I think... Oh! He found him. Ah! No, 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 no! Yeah. She knows. Oh no, friend! Harry, what's your opinion? She said that you're her friend. Uh, yeah, she has to save her brother. Okay, yeah. Well, let's promise again. Yeah, you'll meet him again. Mm. No, you're too optimistic. But let me tell you, I have a bad feeling right now because if they are saying something like this, I mean, last time they didn't have time to make this promise, but this time they made it and... Yes, I love you. That would be amazing. I am afraid that that promise will not be fulfilled. Yeah. Let's hope that he wants to listen to you. Huh? Who's there? Yeah, but look, when there's power involved, it's pretty difficult. I mean, it's easy to forget. Yeah, maybe it's the spirit of his dad. As always, a superstition, eh? It's Warwick. Yeah, it could be real or not. Oh, what a coincidence. Ask yourself why, yeah. But No! Okay. Come on, George, think. Maybe you're still in time to rebel and to stay on Richard's side. Yes, you made it. No, it's never too late. Oh, that's Richard, right? No, that's Richard. That's Dad. Is this an illusion, an hallucination, or is there a Richard in front of him? So there was nobody in front of him. But now somebody's coming. I mean, Richard is coming, right? No, I thought. Okay. Ah! Okay! So that was him. Okay, good job. That was a nice one. I mean, she's trying to let him understand what's going on thanks to feelings. Yeah. No, Harry, no. Oh! Oh yeah, because even Edward wants his revenge. Here we go. To be happy in another place. Good job, Harry, as always. Yeah. No, Warwick, you can't go against his will because he's the king. So where does he go now? Oh yeah. Margaret is simply disgusting. What? This sucks. Blech. And don't do that. And no, you're wrong. You're wrong. Oh my, this is so bad. No, he doesn't want to kill him because he loves him. Exactly. Margaret, look, I am speechless. I feel simply disgusted. But it was like this, somehow. You said to George. George, right? Oh no, now they see George coming, so... But maybe George can surprise us. Oh, we start. Ah, see? Oh no, F way, I was expecting this. Warwick. No, in this case, Harry, but he was suggested by Warwick. Here we go. No, George. And see? That would be a great surprise. I hope so. Don't tell me that he's going to kill him, eh? I hope you're sincere right now, George. Okay. Good job, spill the tea. Yeah. Yes. But he doesn't want to go to war, so don't misunderstand this, okay? Good job, George. That was so great. No, I don't think so. Nah, he will always be surrounding you somehow. Uh-huh. No, Richard! Please don't do that. Look, I don't want to see this thing. Please don't kill Harry. I don't think, Richard, you're able to do so. Exactly. Uh, but it will be something different. No, Richard, don't do that. I think you will never be able to do something like this. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Now look, you can talk to Harry because he doesn't want the war. No, Richard, don't do that. What the F? They have 4 kids? 3? 4 kids? Again? Yeah, 4. And oh, finally it's a boy. Yes. No, exactly. Oh, come on. Let me tell you that she doesn't care about the war, so here right now. She has something more important to think about. No, 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 but Richard, please protect Henry because. Okay, go away. We don't need you. Ah. What you didn't expect, my dear. So? Oh yeah, but there will be no king, so. Oh yeah, if you do that, then expect that somebody is taking your head too. Okay, guys, another episode finished. First of all, I wanted to say that the more we go on with this story, the more Richard is encountering lots of problems to solve, not just regarding the throne, but regarding her feelings. And I think that at this point things are getting pretty difficult for her because he has to confront those feelings that are getting in touch also with the context in which she is living in. So I think that at this point, he is going to reach a moment in which he or she has to choose where to go. Does she or he have to follow the feelings she or he has, or does he or she has to go on with these ideal that she or he has regarding the throne, no matter her feelings, to shut them up and to keep fulfilling what her father, his or her father, wanted to do? This is pretty interesting because once again we are confronting reason versus feelings, and I think that this was another great subject in literature too, not just the English literature but even other literatures in Europe at that time. So I think that when there was the contrast of reason versus feelings, every time everything was discussed about this, because there were some poets or some authors who dedicated their poetry to reason, to understand that reason was more important than feelings, that we should have paid attention on these reasonable facts that had to be fulfilled. And on the other side, there were other poets or other artists that they were focusing on feelings, on the contrary, because feelings were the engine of ourselves and had to be followed. At this point we are in a middle of a mess because Richard right now is facing the fact that on one side he or she has this throne that she has to protect. She has the House of York and her family, her destiny as a family that she has to keep it as a shelter, to help the House of York not to get in touch with the Lancastrians for this war of the Roses, that is this general war that caused so many problems. On the other side, she has to protect her brother George, because everything is connected, unfortunately, with Warwick, who's trying to tempt him to pass on the wrong side. And then she also has the feeling, she's feeling for Harry. So all these three things are making him or her feeling so confused, and she has to debate with her own instincts, and this is pretty difficult to handle. So I understand Richard's point of view because she is in the middle of this confusional moment in which he or she knows pretty well what to do, but at the same time he or she is refraining himself or herself because of the feelings he or she is feeling. Sorry, I keep saying he or she because at the end of the day, I don't know what noun to use, and it's pretty difficult to be honest. So every time I have to say both of them, but let me tell you, for all these episodes that I've watched so far, I prefer to use a she because you see how feminine Richard is in these moments. So if I say she, it's not that I don't respect her will to be a he, but at the same time, by knowing that she's both, it's really hard to comment on this without saying both of them. So I'm going on by trying to respect what she is showing me right now, and she's showing me a more feminine attitude than a male one, so that's why I will keep using she, but of course I know that she's both. Yeah, I think that even at the beginning of this episode you saw how difficult for her it was to get in touch with these mixed feelings that she's trying to have for the first time, and she's not even able to control her feelings anymore because every time she's next to Henry she's feeling as if she can't control herself anymore, and she is ready to go on the next level, but if she goes on the next level everything will be even worse for her because the more she will get in touch with Henry, the more it will be not easy for her to kill him. And let me tell you, I hope that this is not going to happen. I mean, I hope that Richard is not going to kill Henry because I hope for her that she's not going to sacrifice her feelings for all these. Also because Henry doesn't want the war, so no matter what other people are saying, and no matter the fact that this House of York wants to demand the throne once again, I think that Henry is available to give them this throne because he doesn't care. Even if on one side even Harry has to follow his duty as the heir of all these dynasty, but at the same time we already know that Harry doesn't care about this throne, doesn't care to be the king, and the only thing he wants is to be able to stay next to her. That's it. So I hope that in the next episode when they are going to meet, because they are going to meet, I hope that Richard is going to express to Harry all her frustration, and I hope that she is going to understand that Harry is on her side no matter what, and there's no need to kill him. So she can have both at the end of the day. I mean, she can have the throne somehow. I mean, she can restore what her father wanted to let her do, and on the other side she can have even feelings because Harry is ready, in my opinion, to leave everything for her. So let's see what's going to happen, but this is pretty interesting also because we are facing for the first time one person that doesn't want to become a king, one person that really doesn't care about all this situation. And I really like the poetic way in which Harry is describing all these seasons changing, because for him the most important thing is the promise they made each other before separate. Once again, even in this story you have this concept of the promise that is really important, and that can let these characters do things based on them. And this is pretty important. First of all, we can talk about the promise Richard made to her father, for example. Then we can talk about the promise that Harry made to Richard every time he's meeting her. And as you can see, all of these promises are also changing the destiny of this situation. Even Warwick was promising Richard's dad to go ahead with that leitmotif, I mean, to go ahead with this kind of a reign over and over again, even if what Warwick wants to do is something malevolent. And if Richard's dad would have been still alive, I don't think that he would have agreed with all that is happening thanks to Warwick. So I think that Warwick was just taking for granted the fact that he got this role from Richard's dad, and everything was taken for granted. Yeah, everything was guaranteed just because of his position. Let me tell you honestly, I really liked what George did, and I was expecting this because through the reaction I was saying, oh, maybe George is going to surprise us, and that's what happened actually, because he could find a way to show the loyalty he always had towards his family, and the fact that he passed Whereas on their side, I admire this because instead of being corrupted by Warwick and his ideas, he preferred the family instead of power. So George, I really admire you, and you made a great choice, let me tell you. On the other side, the pretty disgusting moment between Margaret Edward, the Lancastrian Edward, and Edna, oh look, I was disgusted. I really wanted to throw up, to be honest. But once again, I repeat you this. At that time, many centuries ago, it was like this. Even if it was obscene, and even if it was something really bad to see or to hear, it was like this. I mean, the new heirs or the new descendants that was starting had to prove to the parents that they could have had sex or they could have created descendants. Otherwise, they were considered as nothing. I mean, the most important thing that they could give to the throne was to give heirs, right? And if you couldn't, you were already seen in the worst way. You were not even considered anymore. So what we saw in this episode was a pretty, disgusting, but at the same time, a pretty realistic. And once again, I remember that this happened even in the ancient regime in France. Once again, I say this because you know that when Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were supposed to stay together, and they didn't like it, but they were forced to do so. The first night, I think the first night or some nights later, they were forced to have sex in front of these sort of ministers who were working for the king or something like that. I mean, to these authorities, to the main authorities of Versailles, because they had to confirm that they were doing their best, because at the beginning Marie Antoinette was simply disgusted by Louis XVI, so she didn't even want to approach him, as I told you already in the previous episode, and this thing was causing strange rumors in Versailles because many people were talking about the fact that the heir was not coming, that they had to rush, they had to create a family because the heirs were important for the descendants of this ancient regime, and they had to go ahead with Louis the 17th, the 18th, the 19th. I mean, it was this way to perpetrate the same attitude. So all people were able to feel relieved for the especially the noble ones, of course, that they could live in Versailles still. Otherwise, if there were no heirs, there could have become a real problem. And that's why even Marie Antoinette was accused, because she was coming from another country and she didn't want to approach Louis XVI. And yeah, until they had to prove in front of everyone that they were having intimate relationships. And yet that's why I'm saying that sometimes we have this parallelism with France too. So I was not surprised to see that it was happening even in England, but it's simply disgusting anyway. So Margaret, that was, I don't know how to comment this anymore. Now we saw that Edward, the Yorker Edward, who is demanding to be the king actually because he was betrayed by Warwick, etc., etc. Now he wants to reconquer, of course, his reign. But at the same time, we see that Elizabeth is already having the fourth kid. Actually, she's having three daughters, if I'm not wrong. And now the new heir, the real heir, was born, and you need to remember that Elizabeth was waiting this moment for such a long time. She's really happy because it means that now she can fulfill her revenge. She can kill Edward because now she is safe. I mean, her son will become the new heir and everything will be fine in her opinion. But I'm pretty sure that Richard is going to discover that things are going in the wrong way. I mean, she will still suspect Elizabeth, and I think that Richard is going to solve this thing. When Buckingham was saying that, look, I think that you want the throne, Richard, you have thought about it at least once. I think that, yeah, Richard thought about becoming a king at least once in her lifetime. But at the same time, right now, everything is focused on something else because now she needs to understand, as I was telling you, if she has to sacrifice her feelings or not. And let me tell you, to Richard, this is the most important thing right now. But at the same time, yeah, I think that Richard thought that by becoming a king, he or she could solve everything in the best way, especially because she is still loyal to her dad and she can't forget the promise she made to her dad. That is even more important than Harry, to be honest. But for the first time, she's confronting something that she was not expecting to confront, and that's why the drama is starting. So, Edward, the Yorker, Edward, be careful because. In this case, you're about to be killed if you're not careful enough. And I think that from what happened to you, you should have learned the lesson. You should pay attention on everything that is surrounding you, no matter if Elizabeth seems to love you or not. In this case, she doesn't love him at all. She just wanted to create the perfect environment for herself only. So be careful. I hope that things can be discovered so she will be dethroned automatically because now she's the queen. But once she will be discovered as a traitor, maybe things can change. Let's see. I want to talk about the other Edward, I mean the Lancastrian one, who is forced to have a relationship, an intimate relationship with Anne. Anne is worried of Richard because she really wants to talk to him or her once again, but once she thought that Richard discovered what she said to Warwick and she was misunderstanding everything, she's thinking that she will never be able to see Richard anymore. But everything that she's saying is wrong because Richard really cares about her. So even if she's denying herself those feelings inside herself, Richard definitely loves Anne. But even in this case, Anne was ready to be sacrificed totally, not just mentally speaking, but even physically speaking, by making this promise, and once again the theme of the promise, to Edward not to kill her in the case she is going to be found. But of course, in Edward's opinion, that's great because he loves her. I mean, he loves Richard, so she is not going to be killed by him at all. Also because Edward wanted to struggle so much to let her become his queen, so of course there's not going to happen. But I feel so sad and so sorry that he has to do something that he doesn't want to do, and at that time they were forced, once again I want to say this, to do things they didn't want just because they were supported by all the generations who were trying their best to secure their own places, their own spots in the scene. When they are talking about this ghost that is trying to trick this mind of George and all the people in that area, once again, this makes you understand how superstitious they were at that time. And how they could believe that these spirits could influence their own actions. And actually, that was a great plan that Richard was trying to fulfill thanks to Catesby, because she was using the feelings. I mean, she was using those feelings in order to let George understanding that he was doing the wrong path, that he was choosing the wrong thing. So this ghost that is surrounding the area, I mean Gatsby, that is pretending to be George's dad, so he could convince him. Yeah, that was great too, and I think that Richard is pretty strategic. She or he is always trying to find the best strategy to get in touch with his family. She did it even with Edward when she knew that he was confined into a jail. She is always trying to find the best plan to reach the goal. And that's why I think that by killing Harry, this is pretty bad, and I hope that she's going to find another plan. Or maybe she's saying that she wants to kill Harry, so she's able to reach him, she's able to explain all the situation because she cares about him, and then things can go ahead in a different way. Let's see. This is pretty interesting. Okay guys, I think for this episode that is it. Hope you enjoyed and stay tuned because next Monday I come back with episode 10 of Baraou no Souretsu, Requiem of the Rose King. In the meantime, feel free to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. Bye guys, see you in the next video.